Hey.
Welcome back, everybody, to another shitty episode of Usually Disappointed. Once again, it's your boy Ethan.
Your boy Ben.
Boy Andrew.
And surprise, it's me, the audio man.
Yeah!
For the first time ever!
On Disney
Name's
DVD and video.
Elias. There you go.
Yeah, so, we finally got everybody, to get all mic'd up and everything, and it only took for us to start remote recording and able to do that, so, congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, we got them.
You got me.
We got you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this week we're doing actually a special episode. We're going to be doing a general game chat to kind of start things off, but we're actually going to be talking about our favorite games of the 8th generation of consoles and PC, of course. But just the stuff that kind of came out around that period, because when we're recording this, the new consoles are not out yet, but they are out soon. Also, we're getting those new AMD cards in just a little bit, and we've got the new NVIDIA tech as well. So, you know, we're seeing that next leap in fidelity and in graphics and all that stuff. So we're gonna
my graphics.
So we're gonna take that little retrospective, that little trip down memory lane, and talk about 10 games that we absolutely loved. We'll be listing them off shortly. But yeah, in terms of news stuff this week, since we like to talk about news, that's completely irrelevant by the time it comes out. There's not much really to talk about this week, and that's the main reason why we wanted to do this. I mean, we got some like reviews for the new consoles, and I guess like the only real story that we had over the past week was that we found out that the internal storage on the Xbox Series S is like only like 300 gigs, which is like terrible. Oh yeah, it's bad.
Oh,
that's like the
damn.
It's so bad.
Modern Warfare doesn't even fit on that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so I mean that's like the only real like thing that kind of happened this past week or so. So it's like, is it really worth doing a big old news thing and trying to scrounge for topics? I don't think so. So, kick things off. Who has video games that they want to talk about in which that they have been playing over the past 7 days?
For the past 7 days, I guess I'll go ahead since I've played a couple, actually.
I played more.
Oh, okay.
I'm scared.
You go.
I'm just scary, man. I'm scary.
Okay, so for those of you who would like to catch up on the situation, I am a man who has not played Portal since it came out. And that has recently changed, and I played Portal today, actually. Work was really slow, and so I just opened up Steam and was just like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna play Portal.
Yeah, boy.
And I gotta say I really enjoyed it, and I see what people enjoy about it. It's got a lot of really cool world building. The music was really dope. The puzzles were fun. Just the overall like level design was really cool. It's just a really neat experience. And also it had like this weird like nostalgia factor for me. I've never played the game before, but it reminds me of back in junior high when a lot of my friends were talking about Portal, and a lot of them had merch from it and stuff. Like I remember one of my friends, his name is Luke. He always would like talk about Aperture Laboratories, and he had like a shirt that said Aperture Laboratories on it. And then at one point he was singing the I'm Still Alive song or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that didn't like register until like the end credits started playing. And I was like, oh, I remember that song, even though I've like never actually heard the song itself. I've just heard other people sing it.
Yeah, everyone knows the memes and the like, but until you played the game, have you really lived the meme?
Exactly. And so I have finally lived. The cake is a lie.
Ah, yes. Good for you. But yeah, no.
Yep, it's a great game.
Portal, amazing game. It's one of my favorites. Great little short
really
game. You can blow through it on an afternoon, and it's really fun, funny, and smart, witty. It's like the perfect puzzle game, honestly.
Mm-hmm. It really is, yeah.
Would you lump?
And I just love one of my favorite things was the dialogue when you like knock over one of those turrets.
Oh yeah, they're funny.
It's like, it's okay, I understand.
Yeah,
no hard feelings.
It's cute.
And overall, it's a really simple game, but at the same time, like it's got a lot to it. It's simple in the terms that you don't really have a lot of like character development, and that's what I think makes a lot of Undertale so cringy sometimes, is because it's heavily character based. And so you've got the fan base is all about, like shipping and, doing like cringy fan art and like all these weird things that involve like taking these characters and putting them in like their own made up situations and stuff like that. And then like saying, oh, what would, Undyne do? Oh, what would Sans do if, this and that? You don't really get that with Portal, because Portal, Chel's a sound protagonist. I didn't even know her name until just now recently. Because they don't say it in the game.
Yeah, they don't.
The robot, I'm not sure if that's GLaDOS or Wheatley or whatever the name is, because I didn't. Yeah, because I didn't learn the name in game either, because it never really says it, I don't think. And then everything else is just puzzles, physics, and like an air of mystery around what exactly is going on in the world.
Yeah, Portal 2 is a lot more story driven. Like there's a lot more character conflict. Oh, yeah. And it's great. I love it. I have heard the opinion that the first one is better just because it's tighter, and the second one's a bit more like there's just more to it. It's just longer, so it's a bit flabbier. I don't really agree with that personally. I think they're just like a perfect like duo. Like one does not exist without the other. Like once you play the first one, you play the second one. The second one's very satisfying, and its conclusion is like it's just a perfect like 1-2 punch. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what happens yet. I'm probably gonna play it in a few days' time, because tomorrow I've got something busy.
It took me just under 10 hours.
I think you're gonna love it.
How long did it take you to beat the first one, Ben?
Just about 3 hours is what everyone says.
Yeah, usually that's how long it takes.
My Steam profile says 2.9 hours.
Yep. Hey, I beat you slightly. I was like 2.8 hours. Like that.
Hey. The one puzzle I got stuck on was the one in the big room where you need to where like all there's turrets on like the little platforms, and then there's the acid water below.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I actually don't know how I solved that one. Yeah.
I got stuck.
I eventually
there.
just like solved it. I'm like, how did I do that?
Well, no, I just remember seeing that, remembering that when you press the button, that like wall like goes out for you to do like the launch jump off of, and then that lets you take the companion cube, or the weighted cube, because this doesn't got the heart on it. It lets you take the cube back behind there. And I was like, oh.
That was like, did you like find like the like secret like backways parts where like the dude's like scribbling on the walls and all that?
Yeah, I really liked that, because like it was just like there's something
the
going on here.
companion cube one is the funniest one. He's like, he's got a swimsuit model like a calendar. He's like, and he taped the companion cube on the models.
Yeah.
I love it.
Your companion cube will not talk to you. In the event that it does talk, please disregard its advice.
Yeah, just a super funny game too. Like were you like chuckling consistently throughout it, you think?
Yeah, I mean, like every once in a while, I just like smile to myself, because the dialogue was just really, really fun to listen to.
It got me cracking up a few times.
So, I guess with that, who else has video game?
I was playing Crash Bandicoot. I want to play the fourth one. That was my main like incentive for playing them.
Oh yeah, same.
So I remember like playing the first one back when like it came out on the Switch, and just being like immediately like turned off by like how like janky it felt, and like it straight up gave me a headache. I was like, okay, I don't want to continue this, and I just like put it down, and I've just been gathering dust for like a year now. I picked it back up because I wanted to play the fourth one, because it actually looked pretty fun, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna just skip the first one and just play the other two. And the other two, to their credit, like really like patches up most of the problems that the first one have. And they're both like still like old games, and there's like, and the game over's annoying. Like I heard the freaking like Tiki dude, and it's like game over. It's like you hear that like 30 times in just one game, and that got pretty annoying. But yeah, overall they're pretty fun. I like it about as much as Spyro, to be honest.
Yeah, Yeah, I thought they were fun, but in my opinion, I liked Spyro more. But yeah, Crash is fun though. Yeah. I do enjoy them.
Spyro is more relaxing, and I guess I prefer the world, but I guess I do feel like a bit more like pride and accomplishment with Crash. So yeah, those kind of weigh each other out. Yeah,
that is true. Especially in the first game, those levels can get grueling.
Yeah, I don't have much incentive to try again. But yeah, I'll probably try out the fourth one this coming week.
Freaking bridge levels,
and see how much I like that.
Yeah, I'm excited to get my hands on that too at some point. I just have to, save my money wisely, and eventually I can just buy it.
It'd be cool if all of us played Crash 4 and we got like a big 2-hour discussion on this very simple platforming game.
Yeah, I'm
that
definitely
could be interesting.
Yeah, I'm definitely planning on playing that at some point myself. Yeah. So
let's have recommendations in this podcast. Like we all just have like one game that we're all gonna play, then we have like one big discussion about it.
Yeah, we can definitely do that for specials in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we all choose a game that none of us have played.
I think Crash 4 would be a good starter for that.
Maybe, yeah, definitely. Anyway, Elias, you're the only other person here who hasn't spoken on a game yet. You've been playing anything here recently you want to chit-chat, paddywhack about?
Kind of and kind of not, because I know everyone has very strong opinions on the one. Because I started The Last of Us 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh great.
Ooh, juicy.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that one. I'm not gonna talk about that one. But besides that, I got back into Nier Automata, so that's been a lot of fun to play.
And give us your thoughts on that.
But also pain in the butt. But
I know that game by.
Is that one pretty difficult?
For me, yes, because the port to PC is god awful. It's supposed to. I think it was a PS4 exclusive technically at first, and then when they ported over to PC, you don't have your joysticks, right? So like my camera function controls are my arrow keys, and then my movement's WASD. But then my attacks are left and right shift and control. And so like I'm aiming, and the whole point of the game is you have a robot with you that's basically shooting stuff, because it's like kind of like a bullet hell mixed with an RPG mixed with something else. It's just like 3 games in one. But basically when you get to the bullet hell section, you're just shooting with your little robot. There's no aim assist because there wasn't meant to be one. And so I'm sitting here like somehow slashing and moving my character moving the camera with my arrow keys, and then the right shift and right control are my basic attacks, and then the left shift and left control are the attacks for the robot. And so I'm just sitting here trying to both attack with both my robot and my body, and it's not working.
I mean, would you consider using a controller?
I've tried, but the controller support doesn't work. I can't find a fix for it, and no one could. So it's just kind of playing with my
That's
great.
Really dumb.
Yeah, but besides that, it's been fun. I've been playing it in Japanese because I'm a weeb, but yeah. So that's also fun to learn some cool, interesting words that I never thought I'd ever need.
Nice. Yeah. So I guess I'm just gonna get my game chat out of the way. Because the only thing that I have played over the past week is that I've been burning through Devil May Cry as a series. Last episode, I briefly remarked that I was playing through 1. Well, that same day I finished 1. Excuse me. Then tomorrow, the next day, I finished 2, which 2 is awful. It's really, really, really bad. Mm-hmm. Catastrophically terrible. It is a mess beyond belief.
Really?
It's how so?
They strip out a lot of the mechanical complexities that were in Devil May Cry 1. They make the levels way too large. So you're just running through empty areas for a large chunk of the game. And the enemy designs are just so bland and dull, and the game is so easy. I died once in the whole game, and it was at the final boss. In a Devil May Cry game. Those games are supposed to kick your ass, and I breezed through it. And the thing is, in these spectacle fighter type games, you're supposed to have You know, like you have, like, especially like Devil May Cry, you have your guns and you have your sword. Your guns are kind of more, they're not really a weapon, more that they're kind of a tool to try and string combos. Like they can keep enemies in the air. They can do damage, yes, but they're more to like keep enemies in the air, keep enemies complacent or still in an area so that you can move towards them or move around them or keep them in the air long enough so you can walk towards them and you know, do like a combo, like can juggle them. The pistols, Ebony and Ivory, which are the names of the guns, the iconic Dante dual pistols, they're incredibly overpowered. And there are several boss fights where all you do is just use the guns and you're just mashing the square button for minutes on end. And it was
that's boring.
Misery.
I remember you posted on your Snapchat. I saw you just like
my Instagram
at a
story.
Helicopter.
Yeah. I was like, oh, check out Devil May Cry 2. Look how freaking cool this is. Oh, I just pressed the square button. Ooh, I got my devil trigger. I'm doing more damage. Ooh. Yeah, and that was against a boss fight that's a literal helicopter. There's a helicopter boss fight in Devil May Cry. Are you kidding me? So anyway,
big spooky helicopter.
Devil May Cry 2 sucks. Absolute like liquid shit. It's terrible. Don't play it ever. Well, I guess it's kind of worth experiencing just so you could be like, wow, this is really terrible. So that when you play Devil May Cry 3, you can be like, oh my lord, that was amazing. It was like playing Devil May Cry 3 immediately after 2 was like being in a coma for 8 months and you wake up out of that coma by having an adrenaline shot just like stabbed right through your chest. Like it was, it was just amazing.
That's a dramatic difference.
It's so good. It's so good. It's a prequel game, so it's kind of like takes the Metal Gear route where like the third entry is actually the first canonically. Oh boy.
Oh, okay.
But Devil May Cry 3 is great. You know, you got your Dante, he's younger and this is where he gets his like really eccentric personality where he's like kind of like not really a dude bro, but he's just kind of goofy and dumb, but like takes things seriously when he needs to. It's this really great like comedic character with a nice serious side to him. So you've got that. The combat is so much better. It's so much fun. Then you've got a good story on top of it. The main villain is super cool. It's your brother Virgil. And he's like, I'm angry. I'm gonna open up a portal to the demon world. And Dante's like, bro, don't do that, bro. And he's like, I'm gonna do it because I need power. And you suck, bro. Literally, like, yeah, I mean, they're brothers. They're twins. But he's like, you need power. Like, power is the ultimate thing that wins everything. And Dante's like, no, I care about people. And Virgil's just screaming about power the whole time. It's become a meme that Virgil is just all about power. He's like, I need power. So, but I need power. I'm gonna open up a portal to hell. But no, yeah, it's really good. The boss fights are pretty good. My big problem is that at the very end of the game, they recycle like every boss fight in the game for like this boss rush thing before you finish the game, and I hate it when games do that. Devil May Cry 3 does that, and that's my big complaint with it. Other than that, it's so good. Yeah, then I played through Devil May Cry 4. I finished it today, and it's good. This one's also kind of controversial, because a lot of people really like it, but there are really big problems with it. You start off as a new character, Nero, and I like Nero. He's pretty cool. He has a sword that you can rev like a motorcycle. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's a Japanese game.
That's a vibe.
It's a Japanese game, through and through. And he's got a little demon arm that he's got some extra abilities with. So he's got a gun, but he's also got his sword that you can rev up for extra damages and different special attacks. Plus, he's got a demon arm that he can use for grabs and throws and other special moves. Like, mechanically speaking, it's the most dense and interesting sandbox of tools that Devil May Cry has ever seen up to this point. But the level design is very all over the place, And at one point in the story, you switch from playing as Nero to then play as Dante. And Dante controls kind of similar as to how he did in DMC3. He's got a few new tricks up his sleeve. One of the best things is that he has style switching, or for brief context, in Devil May Cry 3, you can switch styles, where it's like Swordmaster, where like it changes what the B button or the circle button does, where it's like, oh, if I press the circle button on Swordmaster, I have an extra sword attack, or Gunslinger, I have extra gun attacks. There's a couple other little things, or Trickster, where it's like I gotta dodge, like extra dodge. In Devil May Cry 3, you had to select them in a menu, unless the switch port actually changes that, so it has on-the-fly switching. But the switch port's the only one that does it. So if you're to play Devil May Cry 3, apparently the switch port's the best way to go. But yeah, no, Devil May Cry 4 allows you to do on-the-fly style switching, and it's really cool. And the big problem is that when you're playing as Dante, that you're playing all of Nero's levels, but in reverse. Yeah,
that's a little strange.
And you're fighting the same bosses that Nero did for the most part, and then, just like Devil May Cry 3, at the very end, they have a boss rush type thing, where you're fighting the same bosses for a third time. I'm like, no, why? You had such good momentum up to this point. What are you doing? No, why? But in the end, you get in the end you get to kill God. So I guess it makes up for that. Yeah, but yeah, Devil May Cry slaps really good. I'm starting the reboot.
He slaps really hard too.
Yes. Except for 2, and 4 has some issues, but and 1 is kind of like, so far how I rank them, I guess, is that at the very bottom is DMC2, obviously. Then I would put DMC1, then 4, then 3. That's where they would kind of be right now. But I'm starting the reboot, the one that everybody hates, besides 2, because they turn Dante into a scrawny, black-haired edgelord, and it's all about the evil corporations, and it's like, ooh, that's why politicians and the news media is evil, because they're all actual demons, and it's like, whoa, so prolific and edgy, wow. And there's a lot of F-bombs and stuff, and ooh, aren't we so mature? But
they went film noir with it.
Not even that. It's like a Hot Topic commercial, the video game.
Oh, that's even. Yeah, I guess at least film noir has like more merit to it than that.
That's subtlety.
More subtlety.
But the gameplay looks good, and I'm playing the PC port, which is the second best way to play it, because it originally was out on the 7th gen, and it ran at 30 frames per second. A spectacle fighter at 30 FPS, like that should be a criminal offense. But the PC port ran at 60, but then they did a re-release on the PS4 and the Xbox One where it was like a solid 60 FPS with all the DLC and some extra content that isn't even in the PC version. So I'm going to play that one at some point, but I'm playing the PC port first because I want to get all the games physically, because I want to own them all and be like, yay. When the world goes, under and no internet exists anymore, I can still play Devil May Cry. But yeah, that's
bigger things to worry about in your bunker.
Yeah, that's my spiel. That's everything I've played. So I guess, sorry, I kind of was like went off. I'm so sorry.
But hey, you've played a lot of Devil May Cry.
I did, yeah. And I mean, it's like, a trade-off just for me to kind of say the same thing again, where it's like before, but slightly better or slightly worse. Or in the case of 2, it's, a cardinal sin against humanity. So, I guess at this point, wanted to double check. Does anyone else have anything else they wanted to talk about before we got into our main discussion?
The other games I've played recently I've already talked about on previous episodes.
Yeah. Sick.
So, nope.
Elias?
I don't have time for games, so as I'm playing one right now, don't worry about it. Anyway.
Yeah, you're playing Rocket League while we're recording.
Yeah, I'm just kind of driving around and training, smacking a ball. I love smacking balls.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Have to tell me
So, big discussion time. So yeah, with the cusp of the 9th generation of consoles, it is time to mull over the last gen. We certainly had a lot of great games. We also had a lot of pieces of shit. But we're talking about the good stuff because we're trying to stay positive.
Hell yeah.
So, these are the top 10 games of the past console generation, 8th gen. This is the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, stuff that basically released from November of 2013, basically until, I guess, like the beginning of November of 2020. So, yeah, we're going to do it like this. This is a 1 through 10 list. We already kind of got this down, but our formula is going to go like this. If I have a game at number 10, and then say Andrew has it at like number 3, we're not going to talk about it yet. We're going to wait until it shows up last on someone else's list. So say maybe I have a game at 7, Ben has it at 5, but Elias has it at number 1. We'll wait until we hit number 1. We'll talk about it then. So yeah, there is that, the basic format. It'll make more sense as we talk. If it's still confusing to you.
That makes sense, yeah.
So, anyway, let's go. I'm going to rattle off some honorable mentions first. Not going to talk about these in any detail. They're just going to be short little things. Basically just really great games that didn't make the cut. And those games are Resident Evil 7, Darkest Dungeon, Streets of Rage 4, Mother Russia Bleeds, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Amid Evil, Bloodborne, Horizon Zero Dawn, Dusk, Wolfenstein, The New Order, and Doom Eternal. All of those did not make the top 10. So I have a pretty strong vetting process. So, because there's some awesome games in there. Love them. But they didn't make it. I still highly recommend all of them. They're all really good. But they didn't make the cut. Anyway, anyone else have honorable mentions?
Me. I only have a few. So I guess I'll just rattle them off. The Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Spyro Reignited Trilogy, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Rainbow Six Siege, Rocket League, Outlast 2, and Fallout 4.
All right, cool.
Great games, but yep, just didn't make the cut.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I have a few, just like 4. So in mine, I have Absolute Drift, Cuphead, Death Stranding, and Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Nice. Cuphead's great.
So
Death Stranding's great too.
Mm-hmm.
That may or may not show up on my list. Andrew.
I only wrote down 3, and the reason why these are honorable mentions is because I have not completed them yet. When I actually do, I suspect they actually would be in my top 10, but those 3 are The Last of Us, Spider-Man, and Undertale.
Hell
You
yeah.
haven't finished Undertale. Interesting.
Yeah.
I haven't finished it either, don't worry.
I got past, like the trivia quiz part with Alfie's.
Oh, yeah.
I got
nice.
I got there, and then I got like really scared to continue. Because Undyne was super hard, and I guess I'm just really bad at those kinds of like reaction at mini games. I'm like, ooh, it's just gonna get harder from here. I'm scared.
Sorry, real quick, just stepping away from the mic for just a second.
Just don't ever do the genocide run if you ever do.
I just want to do the
God, genocide is.
I just want to do the true
hard.
pacifist run. I think I'd be satisfied with that. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I haven't finished the game, but I've watched my sister finish every single possible run and spend 140 hours. So I've basically played the game. I just haven't played it for myself.
That's the same. Yeah.
I haven't done every single possible run, but I have done all 3 main endings. I've done the neutral, the true pacifist, and the and genocide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Sans is a son of a bitch to fight.
Oh my god, my sister, like out of the 100 and something hours that she spent on that game, I think like 100 of them were just spent on Sans, and it was so depressing.
Dude, he's hard.
Are you talking about Smash Bros? Sorry, I just stepped away for a minute.
Undertale.
What, my dick?
All right.
That's hard.
I'll smash that, bro. Anyway, let's get on to the top 10. We should have established this a little bit earlier, but we should set up an order on who's to go first. I guess let's do the Discord call order. Do Andrew,
All right.
then me, then Ben, then Elias.
God, why did I name it to be in Japanese? Fuck.
Sucks to be you. Anyway, Andrew, take it away. What's your number 10?
So am I rattling off all 10, or am I talking about like?
No, just number 10.
It is an indie game called Bug Fables. Have you guys ever heard of that?
No.
I have.
Yes, that's that Paper Mario like,
Yes,
right?
it is.
Is that on anybody else's list?
I highly doubt it.
Nope.
Okay, yeah, Andrew, take it away. Talk about Bug Fables.
Yeah, it is very Paper Mario adjacent. A lot of people are very salty that Paper Mario is different now than it used to be. Shocker. But there's the first two games that are RPG based, and they're very similar to like just typical RPGs, but with a Mario spin. So they're really freaking fun, and I understand why everyone loves them so much. I love them too. But here's the thing: Super Paper Mario is also fun too, in my opinion. Sticker Star and Color Splash, not good, but I do like Super Paper Mario, so everybody needs to shut up. Anyways, but Bug Fables is a game that's very much trying to recapture the first two games, and I think it succeeds pretty well. It is a very funny game. It is the battle system is very similar, and there's a reason people clamor for it. It is fun. I am not an RPG person. I really hate turn-based combat, but I do like Paper Mario and Undertale. They're the two games that figured out how to make it fun. In the wise words of Donkey. Yeah, Bug Fables though, my favorite like twist on it from like you could say it's just incredibly derivative of Paper Mario and there's nothing else to it, but the subversion I like about it is that it's a lot more character driven. In Paper Mario, you play as Mario's a total blank slate in those games, and you just kind of project yourself onto him. which sounds weird. But yeah.
I mean, he is paper.
God damn it.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's an analogy.
You're under arrest for that joke.
Oh no.
Ben, do you have a child?
No.
And you're not allowed to say dad jokes.
Yeah, fuck you, Ben. Anyways, what I was saying was that there's three main characters. Their names are Kabu, V, and Leaf, and they all have kind of equal stake. And what I really dug about it is that you really get to learn about all three characters, and they're actually pretty well developed and three-dimensional, and you get to actually see them kind of coalesce as a team. And that's not something you get in Paper Mario. I do have my nitpicks. Like it's trying to be a platformer, kind of like Paper Mario, and it's not that great at doing that. Unfortunately, it's you play it for the story and to like and if you're very like a Paper Mario stan, you'll enjoy it. And it's also just a cartoony indie game, and I love those because little fact about me is the reason I don't play like super highly realistic games is because when I play them without fail, they always really hurt my eyes, so I can never play them for more than like 2 hours at most. So it takes me forever to get through them. So yeah, I like cartoons because they're easy on the eyes, and I just dig aesthetic and all that jazz. So yeah, if you guys are at all interested in playing Bug Fables, like I doubt you guys will like it as much as me, but yeah, give it a shot.
I'm sure our mutual friend Josh would like it.
Yeah,
Long Josh.
Yeah, which we need to have him on
Josh.
at some point. Josh would be interesting to talk about with games and stuff.
Because he's into all the sci-fi stuff.
Yeah, I'd be interested in hearing his thoughts on Bug Fables. I assume he'd like it a lot.
Yeah, I'm planning on playing through the Paper Mario games at some point.
Yeah.
At least the first one. Like Thousand Year Door, I think is what it is.
There's Paper Mario 64, which is on the N64. And then
really?
there is and then Thousand Year Door is the sequel to that. Then after that,
that's cool.
Learn
I
something
didn't know
new
that there
every
was a
day.
64 one.
Yeah, then there's Super Paper Mario, which is on the Wii, and then the Sticker Star, Color Splash, and Origami King, which is kind of like the new trilogy that most people don't like. I don't hate it. I The only one I played is Sticker Star, which is a very hot take for people who have played Paper Mario games. Everyone hates those games.
Yeah, I haven't played it myself, but I know the discourse, and I know that at least everyone hates Sticker Star.
I do not hate Sticker Star. It is a very mediocre game, and I don't have it in me to hate a mediocre game. Yeah, I guess that's the real sin there, is that the first few Paper Mario games are really, really good. Some of the best things that the Mario franchise has to offer, and Sticker Star is very mediocre. So, yeah, I can understand the frustration there. It doesn't personally bother me too much, because I don't have a ton of nostalgia for Paper Mario. I'm actually more of a Mario and Luigi guy, which is the other RPG Mario series. I prefer those ones. But Paper Mario, very close. I still like it a lot. And yeah, Bug Fables does a good job of recapturing that.
Awesome. Oh yeah, I've seen like a few trailers for that, and I thought it looked right up your alley.
Yeah, right. Mine specifically, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, moving on. My number 10, which I'm pretty sure might have some crossover, but number 10, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Anyone else?
That is also my number 10.
I would.
Oh wow, really?
I would put that in my top 10. I just don't think it's that interesting to talk about. But I would probably put that like number 5, but I left off my list just for sake of brevity.
Well, cool. I guess Ben and I are gonna rattle off our number 10s then real quick.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. I guess what is there to really say about it?
Nostalgic franchise for one. I love seeing each new like iteration of it, like regardless of like how what people like think of like some specific ones, like namely Brawl. I still really enjoyed like Brawl, and I didn't get to play Wii U, so this is like the next one up from Brawl for me. And honestly, I think it's really cool.
Yeah, no, I think it's really good. I mean, it's a
super
game.
Fun.
It's a game, I guess, that you can either say a whole ton about or not much at all. And I think we're gonna fall into the latter. But yeah, no, I think it's a really fun game with a lot of really intriguing mechanics. It's a good fighting
Lots of
game.
Characters too.
Yeah, it's a lot of characters. It's a good fighting game, but it's a even better and great party game. And
hell yes,
that's how I like to play it. Although I don't like items and stuff like that, but sometimes I will. If I'm playing with family. But yeah, no, it's great. And again, it's Smash Brothers on the go. Of course, we had that in the 3DS one, but you have it on a better screen and arguably better controller. So yeah, no, again, great game. I really like it. I mean, I guess my only real complaint with the whole thing is just that Nintendo just doesn't know what the hell they're doing with their netcode. And that's basically it.
Basically. One more thing I have to say about Smash Bros, like in comparison to previous entries, is like I tried doing the single player thing, and I just couldn't really I just didn't really have it in me to finish World of Light, because it was not even close to as interesting as Subspace Emissary was.
I can feel
to me anyway. I think the overall combat, characters, and just overall playability of Ultimate is tons better, but Subspace Emissary was just a really cool like collective like narrative to kind of give to a single player like mode.
Yeah.
And then they had like all those adventure maps and stuff, and like I just thought it was really dope. And World of Light doesn't really have that same like intrigue to me. It just feels like a spiced up classic
I totally
mode.
agree.
Okay. Yeah, no, but that's kind of my piece on that.
Great game.
The most
Elias.
Yeah, okay, go Elias.
Number 10.
Oh, mine?
Yes, you're number 10.
Oh, yeah, because you do yours together. I bet no one has this on theirs, but Toho Luna Nights.
Never heard of it.
I do not have that.
Never, yeah, okay.
I've heard of Toho, but I haven't, and I've heard of Toho Luna Nights, but I've never played it.
Yeah, good game. It's a side-scroller, 2D, kind of pixely looking bullet hell kind of game. But the thing I loved about it, and all the Toho games are just bullet hell, dodge the bullets, and somehow hit the enemy at the same time, which I just love. Freaking Japan, it's great. Anyway, what I love is the mechanics for it. I'm pretty sure there's another one that had basically the same, but it's like a time-based mechanic, very Bayonetta-esque kind of a thing. But what I loved is that the way that I gotta remember because it's been a second since I've played it, but the way that you regain like your health points is by dodging attacks in real time, and the way you gain more attack magic damage kind of a thing is by slowing down time and dodging the bullets in slow down time. Or I guess you stop time. You can stop time for I think like 15 seconds, I think, if I remember correctly, something like that. But you're able to stop time in the entire game, and during that, some things will move, some things won't, or there's like special magic effects and things like that. But it's just really cool to like on the fly be like, I'm gonna fucking dodge this with that, and I'm gonna prepare to dodge this once I can regain health, and then as I'm doing that, I'm gonna attack you and also dodge all these other attacks, and like it's just fun. It's just bullet hell.
It sounds a lot like when I'm playing games like Devil May Cry, but this is a shmup, right? Shoot 'em up.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so I definitely love that, and basically I love any game where I get to a mental state where it's just flow, and I have no idea what I'm doing, but it's just working because like subconsciously my brain's like, I got you, bro. We're doing this, and that's what that game gave me.
Nice.
I don't think I finished it, but I've gotten really close. I need to finish it. I need to go back and finish it. But good game.
Nice. Now, Andrew, number 9.
Another indie game. You guys probably will sense a theme here. It is Celeste.
I
do not have that on my top 10, but that is a great game.
I've yet to play that one. That one sounds like
fun. I need to finish it.
Yeah, I still have to finish it, so that's why it doesn't show up on my honorable mentions either, because I still need to finish
How far have you guys gotten in it?
Not very far.
I got like 2 levels past the hotel, I think.
Yeah, that's
not even close.
That's
to
like
that.
60% through the game. Yeah, short game, but it's really good. Actually, I didn't like this game that much on my first playthrough. I'm not a big rage game guy, and this game, I hate to say it. It's hard to say. It's hard to say rage game for Celeste because it has kind of a nice serene feel to it, which separates it from like Super Meat Boy and stuff like that. But yeah,
it also from what I've seen, it has a lot of like accessibility options to make the game easier for people, and if they don't want to deal with that kind of nonsense as well. So I guess it is. It's a rage game as much as you make it a rage game.
Yeah, and I totally made it a rage game in my first playthrough. I kept playing it really late at night. Which is really stupid because I'm all sleepy and I keep dying and I'm like, why am I playing this fucking game? And on my second playthrough though, I was already somewhat good at it, and I was able to just kind of get into it a lot better. On my second playthrough, that game definitely went from I beat it kind of out of spite, I guess, and on my second playthrough, I was like, "Oh no, this is a great game." And I even beat the bonus level and all that jazz, and very satisfying. It nice. Teaches you a lot. Honestly, it's one of the more it's one of the only video games I've ever played that actually feels kind of poignant to an extent. The theme is never giving up, and I think it's really clever to put that in a rage game. So
yeah, that's a very similar observation to a game I have later on my list, and I'll talk about.
Yeah, I wonder what you're talking about, Ben.
There's a couple.
There's a whole series probably in here.
Yeah, Celeste, really good. I recommend playing through it at least once. I think the game really shines on the second playthrough, at least from my experience.
Okay.
Good
to know.
I'm not going close to those B-sides though. I've looked at some of those levels, and my god,
I've completed 3 of them, and I'm good now.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess for my number 9, I got Undertale.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
Undertale.
Nice.
That's my number 5.
Nice.
Oh.
We will talk about it when we get to
at
Ben.
number 5.
Ben, what's your number 9?
My number 9 is the controversial one, The Last of Us Part 2.
Ooh.
And
spicy.
Yeah. So
that is spicy.
Yeah. So we've already talked about this game plenty on this podcast,
Every
but
damn episode.
I'm just going to summarize it why I like it in very brief terms. Yes, it's got its flaws, and that's why it's at number 9 and not higher. But at the same time, it's a gorgeous fucking game. I love the combat. I think the characters are really well done, and just the overall level design and atmosphere, and I think it pushes a lot of boundaries, and I think it's definitely up for consideration when it comes to the Game Awards, for just the sheer amount of like talent put into the construction of the game itself, if anything. So yeah, I honestly think it's a great game. Yes, there's flaws with the narrative, but I can look past those and enjoy the fact that it's a lot of fun for me to play, because I played it 2 times back to back. So
nice.
Yeah.
I can't believe you did that back to back. It's just dumb.
Hey, I liked it.
I know. Good game, but like, oh god, I can't imagine doing that.
All right. Yeah. Well, Elias, what's your number 9?
My number 9 is one that I'm not sure if I really like up on number 9, but it is the Ace Combat 7 game.
Oh, nerd.
I've always loved Ace Combat. My favorite one was 0, and basically 7 is just a reskin of 0.
0 is fantastic.
Yeah, 7 was basically just a reskin of 0. Literally the same thing happens all the way through. Spoilers, sorry, but like it's the same thing, just makes it bigger and more bigger. That's it. But like the combat felt clean. It felt nice. It went back to 0's, like, because I remember I played a few of the other ones. 5 was really good too, but like they had this like spin-off thing that happened at one point, and you were flying like a helicopter. It was bad. It was so bad. But
is it still Cypher and Pixie in 7, or
no, it's different people entirely, and like the narrative is different, but like basically the same things happen. I don't know. And the other reason I think I have it up there is because on the PS4, and this is the only, we're doing console gens, and this is actually one I played on the console. There was a VR version of it, like a special edition VR thing where you can do it in VR.
I heard about that.
It is.
I played that at your house.
It is so fucking fun. And for me,
it's super fun.
Yeah, for me, I've always wanted to be a pilot, but I get motion sick really easily, and I don't have perfect vision, so I'm automatically out. I can't ever do it. Which kind of sucks.
And my brother's already like trying to get there, and
it's difficult.
I'm just gonna say that the Air Force, like the thing to I mean, if you wanted to be like a fighter pilot, process is definitely not your environment.
Exactly. So, I mean, yeah. So it lets me have that feeling of, hey, I'm in a fighter jet. We're doing this. It's always been a fun game. It's basically the not JRPG, but like it's just it's basically a Japanese visual novel with planes. Basically, all Ace Combat has always been. You have the cool visual novel thing for a little bit, and then like, bam, we're in a plane, we're shooting things down, and they come back and they're like, okay, cool, this thing's happening, and then bam, you're in a plane shooting things down. So it's always been the same formula. It's just fun, shooty, fun times.
Shooty. And I've played a bit of it, and I can attest to it as well. It is shooty, fun times.
So there's my 9.
It looks pretty too.
I know. Oh, it looks gorgeous, and the voice acting. I know everyone has a problem with it in the English one. The English one sucks ass. I hate playing Ace Combat in English. 0 did okay. It did okay. But like I played this twice. I played it once on the PS4 in English and on my PC in Japanese. The Japanese is so much better voice acted. Like it flows better. It feels like an Ace Combat game when you play it in Japanese. But granted, I can mostly understand the language and whatnot. But yeah.
So for those who understand Japanese, I guess he recommends.
Huge recommendation. Yeah, it's so much better. Voice acting so much better.
All right. Ooh. Andrew, give me your number 8.
Okay, this is the only non-Nintendo AAA game on my list. It is. You guys probably already know what it is.
Modern Warfare.
It is God of War 2018.
I think I know.
Oh, nice. I've got that.
That is my number 6.
That's my number 5.
Nice.
Oh,
we will save that for when I hit my number 5 then.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right. Then for me at number 8, I have Doom 2016.
I'd love to play that,
because I have yet to play it.
Same.
Okay.
Oh, you guys are missing out.
Give us your sales pitch, Ethan.
Yeah.
I own it though.
So Doom 2016, it feels quite similar to the original first 2 Doom games, because Doom 3 went for a slower, more survival horror type approach, more action horror, I guess. I still really like Doom 3. In fact, I like it more than Doom 2, which is my hot take of the day. Because everyone says that Doom 2 is the best, and I think it's pretty mediocre. Besides the super shotgun.
Ooh.
The super shotgun's like the only
opinion.
great thing in that game. There's a couple good levels, a few interesting enemies. Other than that, Doom 1's superior in every other way imaginable. Anyway, we go to Doom 2016, which has slightly different types of level design. It's more gauntlet based. So like in Doom, the first like 2 Doom games, you'd have some open areas where you do combat, but most of the time you'd be running down hallways and corridors, shooting out monsters, and again, you'd have your open areas, but it was a good mixture of the two. Doom 2016 takes the more approach where you might have a tiny bit of combat in hallways, but most of it is in open areas when you're running around and just shooting shit like crazy. Doom 2016 does it really well because it's fast paced, so it's always got your blood pumping. The soundtrack does wonders with that as well, but you're running around and you're just shooting at demons, jumping around the place like a freaking maniac with extremely fast fluid mechanics and an amazing arsenal of weapons with great ease of access to it. The best way obviously to play it is on PC, of course, because again, you've got like the console versions and they run fine, but you have a weapon wheel that slows down time when you're selecting your guns, but you with a number pad, of course, you could just switch to like the weapons on a fly, and it just never breaks the pacing, and it looks good. The id Tech 6 engine is beautiful. I think it's 6 that Doom 2016 runs on. Again, the game engine's great, the music is great, the gameplay's fantastic. It's just a balls to the wall, constantly adrenaline pumping shooting extravaganza, and it rarely ever stops to like feed you story. It does it every now and then, and you can also like get more of the story like by reading into it, by looking at like item and enemy descriptions, but it's not vague like Dark Souls or something where it's like, ooh, this may have happened, or they give you weird explanations for things. No, it's like, hey, this is an imp. This is what like this little bastard does. He throws fireballs. He sucks. Kick his ass. So,
he sucks. Kick his ass.
He sucks. Kick his ass. But yeah, no. It kind of stops for the story every now and then. But the great thing is that Doom Guy, or Doom Slayer, as he's called in Doom 2016, is that he just doesn't care about the story at all. In fact, he constantly fights against it being presented to you. Like at the very beginning of the game, there's this moment where there's this little terminal pad, and like the other character,
over, right,
Samuel Hayden's like, hey, there's demonic presence, and like this is kind of really crazy, huh? And then the Doom Slayer just like grabs the pad, he just throws it up against the wall. He just doesn't care. And the great thing is, he's a silent protagonist with a ton of personality, which never happens. So it's this amazing melding of ideas together that makes a really fantastic game. And the reason why Doom Eternal isn't higher, I know many people say Doom Eternal is better. I think that Eternal's level design kind of falters in some places, and it's a little more frustrating of a game. Like, I get it, like it's a little harder, and that's fine. I'm a glutton for difficulty. Again, I'm playing Devil May Cry. I can take it. I just feel that the advancements and everything that Doom 2016 made makes it a stronger experience than Doom Eternal, where Doom Eternal is just a refinement of what 2016 did. And it does it great for the most part, but 2016 is that precipice, that example of what to make. And it brought back the boomer shooter. That genre of games was dead for the longest time. But Doom 2016 inspired for, indie games and AAA games to keep the classic style of key hunting, fast-paced, first-person shooter games where they're not feeding you story all the time, which those games are great, but if you want just a sole gameplay experience, you didn't really have those much. But 2016 came back and said, yes, we can do this, and they did it, and they did it amazingly. And that's how we get, games like, again, Doom Eternal, and we got Dusk, a Medieval. We might even see Quake come back outside of being a multiplayer game exclusively. Wolfenstein came back in 2014, which the New Order's great, but it is more story heavy than Doom definitely is. But yeah, no, Doom 2016, it's great. Play it. Seriously. It's like required playing. It's so good.
I do own it. I just have to
I can buy it.
Gotta play it, man.
I want to say
this sounds right up my alley.
I want to ask this about Doom. While the core gameplay is obviously very different from Portal, would you say that like it's kind of like has like the same sort of like lean like idea to like game philosophy, where it's just like the whole thing is just like the core gameplay loop and like nothing gets in the way of that? I would say so.
Yeah, there's a few moments where the game kind of slows down and it kind of just slogs for a tiny bit, mainly just like a couple platforming sections, but there's like 2 in the game. Like I did a recent playthrough of Doom 2016 like this year, and I finished it in 5 hours. Like
yeah, that sounds great.
It's
damn.
Yeah, but the thing is like there's a lot of replayability with additional difficulties, secrets, tons of secrets to find, and the like. It's a great game to complete. I've completed it before. I've 100% completed it. I didn't finish it on Ultra Nightmare, but I got the Platinum Trophy on PS4 when I played on console. Because I'm not playing.
Nice.
I'm not playing through the entire game where I have 1 life, and if I die, I start the whole game over again, and like 2 to 3 hits kills me. Like, good on people who can do that, but I'm not that crazy. Have fun.
Yeah, sounds great. Definitely want to play that at some point.
I do too. I've had my eye on it for a while.
Oh, definitely. And there's a Switch port. It doesn't look very good, but there's a Switch port.
If I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I would definitely say that the PlayStation, Xbox, and especially the PC version are the ways to go on that. If you can do the PC port, that's the way to go. Definitely. But the console versions will definitely suffice as well. Anyway, Ben, number 8.
Number 8, Subnautica.
Oh.
Does anyone else have Subnautica?
I played it. It's on Game Pass, but I haven't given it a try yet.
I don't want to
give us your pitch, Ben.
Okay, so this game is not a horror game, but damn is it scary.
My brother has played it, and I've seen him play it, and it looks like it's got some freaky shit in it, man.
It's got a lot of freaky shit in it.
The ocean's a scary place. Never go there.
Pretty much, but yes, go there.
Good thing we're land.
No, fuck the ocean.
But okay, so like it did take me a while to get into it because I do have a fear of the ocean, and like in every game I've played growing up where there's like open water sections and that don't really have like set bounds, they kind of look like they just lead into nothingness. I've just always been terrified of that. One of the most significant examples I can remember of that is in Ratchet and Clank 1 and Splashdown, because in the Ratchet and Clank 1 there's a level where you're underwater, you swim underwater a lot, and then it just kind of like leads off into like this empty place, and I was like, ooh, what if there's stuff there, but can't go there because invisible wall. Splashdown, if you go too far out of bounds, it's a jet ski racing game. If you go too far out of bounds, a giant squid tentacle pop out of the water, suck you under, and then just like yeet you across the course. And then you just respawn. But Subnautica, the entire game is underwater, and there's lots of places where there's like vast expanses of just like where you look down and you don't see anything. And so for a while, it took me a while to actually like, grow the balls to actually play it. I stayed in the safe shallows for 2 hours on my first playthrough, on my first like time sitting down and playing it, and then I didn't play it for like 3 months, and then I finally got back in. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this, and turns out it's one of my favorite games of all time because the vibe is just super cool.
Bitch, don't kill my vibe.
Like what was that?
I said, bitch, don't kill my vibe.
Yeah, but the overall like level design is gorgeous. Like the different like areas and like biomes and stuff that you can visit are just breathtaking every time. The kelp forest, the lost river, the magma zones, even the places like Sparse Reef are just super cool. It's a survival game as well, so you're going to spend a lot of time in the game doing things like, looking for ore, building your base, trying to progress in getting like better tools and vehicles and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
it's got a lot of replayability in the fact that, you know, you can build your base literally anywhere on the map as long as you have the resources, because you can build it towards the surface and use solar power, or you can go way down into the magma level and magma biome and use a thermal reactor to power your base. And, you know, you can build literally anywhere. The creatures, there's lots of creatures in the game. There's, you know, fish that you can use to like eat. There's, you know, scary fish that will kill you. And, there's very giant, you know, like leviathans that, you know, will, you know, keep you from going places where they are. Cause, I will admit I have not really ventured much in the dunes biome because there's like 10 Reaper leviathans there. So no, thank you. Yeah, overall it's a gorgeous game. It's got a very real element of fear to it, which I think is super cool. I've never really felt as anxious playing a horror game as I have playing Subnautica, which is interesting. And the story's really cool. It's really rewarding. The only things that I'd say are probably like really wrong with it is that sometimes the controls are janky, especially on land. And everything is even more vague than Dark Souls sometimes, if you can believe that. I had to go back to the wiki repeatedly to figure out what the hell I was doing oftentimes, or like where I needed to go, or where I needed to go to find this thing or that thing or whatever. So, you know, it's got its flaws, but overall I think it's a really cool experience. And I think if you have a fear of the ocean, you should try conquering that fear with Subnautica, because I think in the end you'll awesome. Enjoy it.
Nice.
Good pitch.
All right.
Yeah.
Whale. Number 8.
Turn, right?
Elias.
Yeah. I don't think anyone has this one, but maybe you do. It's Ni no Kuni 2, the second one.
No. I don't like JRPGs, but I have been curious about Ni no Kuni.
Ni no Kuni's made by the studio that made one of my favorite games of all time that happens to be a JRPG, Dark Cloud 2.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Level 5.
There you go.
Cool.
Yeah, Ni no Kuni 2. Very good game. Generic JRPG. Menus galore. The menu simulator, basically.
Oh, jeez, I couldn't do
I
that.
love it. It's so good. But like the characters are all lovable. I love every single character. The story so far has been okay. I haven't finished it yet, but like the fact that it's on this list for this thing is I need to finish it. There's so many games I need to finish. But again, I'm playing in Japanese because I'm fucking retarded. But the writing is really good in the Japanese. There's a lot of like puns and Japanese jokes that I love that I feel like don't get translated very well. Because a lot of people like the gripes I've seen on this usually end up being dialogue based, where some things just translate kind of funny. But to me, I haven't had that issue because the translation just it's cool. Like for me, it's like, oh, I get the concept you're going for. I see the joke. I see the play on words. I see what you're doing here, right?
To be fair, real quick, just as an insert,
Go for it.
Level 5 seems to have a history with that, because both Dark Cloud 1 and 2 had pretty terrible English translations as well. So
yeah, so it's just the nature of Japanese games, and that's why, because I love JRPGs and just Japanese games in general, that's kind of why I wanted to learn Japanese, so I could see the raw and see how they meant it to be interpreted. For the most part, because I'm not Japanese by heart, so
you're not native.
I'm not
Japanese,
native,
yeah.
so I'm never going to get to that level. But to be able to understand a little bit more clearly, kind of what the game's about. But yeah, Ni no Kuni is really good. There's a few funky things. I get lost quite often. Maybe that's just because I don't fully grasp the language, so I get lost here and there. But there's just so much. It's such a long game.
That's another thing about Level 5. Their games are long as hell.
Freaking long. It's a good game, but man, I don't know if I'm gonna get through finishing it anytime soon, at least. But yeah,
I'd expect like probably a close to 70-hour playthrough,
something like that. Yeah, that's usually these games. So
gross.
Yep, that's JRPGs for you.
That's not even 100%ing it. Think about that for a sec. That's just getting through this damn game.
Yeah. All right. Rule of thumb. I mean, I guess tip for people who play Level 5 games, especially Dark Cloud 2, do not try to 100% Dark Cloud 2. You will come to hate it.
All right, Andrew, 7, right? Is that what we're going to? Okay.
Time for number 7. Another indie game. This one is Shovel Knight.
Oh, nice.
Shovel Knight.
I need to play it.
You guys have
to.
I think I I would have put that on my honorable mentions, but then I spaced. But I did really like that game.
Cool. Have you played it, Elias?
No, everyone's told me to, so I really should.
It's fun. Yeah, give it a shot.
It's not that long of a game either, is it? It's pretty dang short, right?
No, it's not that long at all. It's like 6-7 hours.
Yeah,
okay.
And it's like
bad.
it's the difficulty. It's kind of notorious for that, but I would say it's like less than Cuphead, but more than like your typical.
It's easier than Hollow Knight.
I was gonna say Cuphead is not that hard. I don't know why people think Cuphead's hard. Cuphead's not hard. It's easy.
Well, if that's the case, then Shovel Knight should
we got
be
a certified badass over here.
Fuck yeah! I loved Cuphead. It was good.
Yeah, but seriously though, Shovel Knight. The game that really got me into indie games, my first one, I played on my 3DS years ago. I need to replay it. I really loved it, and it's never like left my memory. I like remember like every boss and like my experiences with it. It's just it's a game that really ingrains itself in your memory, even if it's not like super dense in story. Like there's still like little nuggets that you can find. Like the conversations that he has with his like fellow knights are actually pretty interesting. And his relationship with Shield Knight is actually, like, it's not directly stated, but you kind of get, like, why they love each other so much, like, very quickly. Like, and that's really cool in, like, a game that's, like, trying to emulate, like, an NES game. Because NES games, like, you know, like, they would have to have any kind of story, they'd have to take off, like, a few boss fights just to make room in the disk space. But, so, Shovel Knight is, like, the perfect, like, way to take old ideas and just add subtle like tweaks that newer games provide to provide like the perfect like median experience of like of more modern games and their like and the things that they're known for, and retro games that have been kind of lost to time. If you've tried playing NES games and you just hate like how janky they are and like how they send you all the way back to the beginning when you get a game over and all that jazz, then yeah, Shovel Knight is like the perfect game because it gives you that same experience but without all the annoying
having to go back to the beginning.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Ben. What was your favorite level?
Let me think. There's a lot of really good ones. I've got to say the level where you're like on the flying ship was pretty cool, where you fight Propeller Knight.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
I liked that level.
Is that your favorite boss, Propeller Knight, or just the favorite level?
No, Propeller Knight was not my favorite. He was really fun though. Mm-hmm. I got to say probably what's like the Reaper Knight one?
Yeah, you got you know,
the one that you fight in the graveyard.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The Spectral Knight, I think.
Spectre Knight.
Yes.
Yeah, Spectre Knight was really fun.
Very good one. And my favorite one has got to be Tinker Knight. The
the one with the mech.
Yeah, the one where like it starts off like really stupid and like he's like
he's
just throwing like wrenches
really
at
fun.
you, and it was like what a funny music playing. Then he pulls out a fucking mech and it's awesome. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah,
I was like, wait, is that the whole fight? And then it's like, nope, I've got a mech. Okay, cool.
Yeah, fantastic game. Need to play it, replay it, and play the DLC because all the DLC is apparently really fun too. Yeah.
Also, fun fact, did you know you can fight Kratos in Hollow Knight? No, not Hollow Knight, it's Shovel Knight.
Where's the
spoilers?
Yeah, I know that depending on the version that there's like different characters that, because I know on the Xbox version the Battletoads are there.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, because I think it might be specific to platforms. So if you play on PlayStation, you can fight Kratos, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Shovel Knight's a great game. Play it. You two plebes haven't played it. Yeah.
I want to. It's been on my.
I'm sorry?
Oh, go ahead.
I said I want to. It's been on my backlog for a very long time.
Yeah.
And Elias, you've been wanting me to play Portal a lot recently. Yeah. I think we should sit down and try Shovel Knight.
I'm down. Like I said, I've been meaning to. Everyone's
a nice short game.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, I lost track.
Number 7.
Number 7, and
that's number 7 for Andrew.
Yeah, my turn. I've got number 7. Norman Reedus and the
His
Funky
amazing
fetus.
Yeah, baby. That's a good game. That's a good game.
I got Death Stranding, the greatest walking simulator to ever exist.
I've never enjoyed walking so much in my life.
Yeah, walking has never been so stressful.
Right?
Amazon delivery service, the video game. I think honestly, I think it's a really fantastic game. I know why people don't like it, and I understand. I totally get it. I personally really connected with it. I think its mechanical depth is very much there. It's a very simple concept. Like if you take a look at it, say if it's a puddle, it's a tiny puddle, but it's extremely deep. You'll fall into it when you step in. Because there's a lot of really unique mechanics and stuff to it, and it's largely not combat focused. There is combat stuff that can pop up into it, but I 100% completed the game. I got the platinum trophy on PS4. I fully completed it. I have the collector's edition. In fact, behind my computer, I have the collector's edition lamp, which is the baby pod. I have my own BB pod. Yep, and it lights up too with AAA batteries.
AAA batteries.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture. I have it though. But
who else's baby lights up with AAA batteries?
Exactly. That's
Mine lights up with triple D batteries.
But I think it's a really great game. The story is very all over the place and kind of messy, but I think it comes together pretty well. It does have its cornball moments, and which is understandable because it is Kojima, but there are, of course, times where the cornball aspects do kind of go past their welcome a little bit. But for the most part, I do think that it is, again, mechanically sound, with a good story, great characters, and really engaging gameplay loop. Although, yes, it does get repetitive, but I found it very mesmerizing to play, and it's definitely one of the few games that I've played over the past while that had me sit down and go, while playing it, because there's not very many thinking man's games out there, and this sounds pretentious because I guess it is, but it's not very often that games make me sit down and really kind of ponder what it's saying and get across its political themes and messages and maybe what it's saying through its mechanics. Most of the time it's just kind of like he who I shoot the thing, which is great. Again, I got Doom 2016 on this list. I love he who shoot the thing games. Those are great. Love them to death.
That's what I was gonna say. Is you're worried about it sounded pretentious, but it's but I was just saying, but you're balancing out because you've already got Doom on there, which is just goopy gamer brain shoot 'em up.
I love my turn my brain off and just kill thing games too. Really interesting. Certainly worth trying. I think everybody should try it.
I want to try it,
but if you play a couple hours of it and then you come back to me and you say, dude, it ain't happening, I'd be like, I get it. I don't fault you for feeling that way at all. But that's my number 7.
I really wonder how I'd enjoy it, because I have had it on my list for a while. It does intrigue me.
Again, definitely worth trying.
Yeah, it's also a very unique AAA game, really. Nothing else gets made like that.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, because I wanted to say something on that. Because, usually when you talk about the big budget games, usually you don't get these kind of experiments. Yeah, you'll get games made by, the first party studios that, might kind of break the mold maybe a little bit sometimes. Might try something a tad bit new, but you don't get these radical departures of just pure insanity and completely unique gameplay mechanics and doing its own thing in the most risky way possible in the AAA sphere, because usually all you're getting is just your usual Call of Duties and your Assassin's Creeds and games like that, which again there's a spot for games like that in the world, and I certainly don't hate them for the most part, But but yeah, but you don't get those like you only see that really in the indie market, but it's cool to see something that's this experimental and strange given the budget for a full AAA game release.
Yeah. And that is worth celebrating, even if it isn't for everybody.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's certainly one of those games that if you don't like it, you don't like it, and I totally get it. But there's no way that you can look at it and not acknowledge its significance and how, prolific it is as its own piece in terms of how it was made, the story behind it, and what it does and its radical departure from the AAA mentality, while having the budget and the resources of those kinds of games.
True, yeah.
Awesome.
Yep, enough big brain talk from me. Number 7, Ben.
All right, so number 7 for me is The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
That is my number 2.
Oh,
all right.
Wow.
Save that for later.
Wait till then.
Okay, my 7 is Sekiro.
Ooh.
Yep, I haven't finished it, but I freaking love that game.
It's
so much.
It's the only From Software game that I've tried, and I can look at it, and honestly, this is a Death Stranding kind of situation for me, where how somebody else feels about Death Stranding, where it's like I played a bit of Sekiro, and I can look at it and be like, this is really good. This has just all the mechanical complexities. Yep. It has the world, the visuals, the gameplay to really grasp and be a good game. It's just not for me, and I put it down and I never picked it back up, and in fact I sold my copy. But
okay, but why is it for you, Elias?
Yeah,
it's the more fast-paced reaction type based thing that I like, because like I said, FromSoft, they're the ones that did Dark Souls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dark Souls, Bloodborne,
yeah, all the other ones. So I remember Ben had me try a little bit of Dark Souls. It just feels clunky, slow, yet precise at the same time, right? Whereas Sekiro just feels fast. You're quick. You're constantly on your feet. You're moving. That's the whole point. So I can see, how someone who likes Dark Souls, because I'm pretty sure you like Dark Souls, right, Ethan, if I remember correctly?
Yeah,
I think everyone except for me likes sort of Dark Souls.
Yep, Dark Souls is great.
But yeah, it's just it's faster, and I think that's what I liked. The parry system was just clean. It felt right. Everything just feels right. And then the fact that it's just based in Japanese, historical kind of Japan and mythology and kind of stuff like that. I just really enjoy it for my weeby heart. So
nice.
I had that's one of the main reasons why I suggested it to you, and why Sam was suggesting it to you, is because we knew that you would dig the historical Japanese side of it.
And I just realized the ones I've said so far I've played them all in Japanese, because I've played Sekiro in Japanese, and that one's a freaking challenge because they speak normal Japanese, but they use the archaic language and words. So I'll be looking at a kanji and be like, oh fuck, they're saying table, but it don't look like table there.
Very era accurate, I guess. Then
yeah, no, it's very good. They stick to the era. Yeah, so much went into it. So I'm learning.
I've been meaning to play that for a long time. I mean, I've played a little bit of it here and there, and the furthest I got was I got past the Chained Ogre.
I can't believe that's the part where you got stuck. That's so funny.
Oh, dude, if that's where I got stuck. If that's where I got stuck, I'm scared for the rest, but I'm also really excited.
It's good. It's good stuff.
Shadows die twice.
Oh, and the whole I just love that death mechanic. I know it's the same thing as everything else, but it's just nice.
Nice. All right. Number 6, Andrew.
Okay. My number 6 is the polar opposite of Sekiro. It is Animal Crossing: New Horizons.
Oh, hell yeah.
I assume I'm the only one.
I think so, yeah.
Yep.
I have not played it. I have
think
not played Animal Crossing because I'm not a Nintendo Switch boy. I'm sorry.
New Horizons is good, but I have way too many complaints about it.
Yeah, you've actually played it more than me. You can eavesdrop on your friends in their play time. You've actually played it about 100 hours more than me.
Damn.
Everyone has their complaints with Animal Crossing, and this is definitely it's weird. The first Animal Crossing game I played was City Folk, and which is on the Wii, and I didn't really like it much at all. And I put it down really quickly. However, upon playing like later games like New Leaf and this new one, New Horizons, I don't know. I've kind of developed a new appreciation for it, like flaws and all. Just it just the at the place in my life where I am, when I play video games, I don't really feel like I have the time or energy to really like thrust myself into something that's just going to take months to complete.
Being an adult.
Yeah, being an adult, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, I like really tight, refined experiences or games that really relax me. And Animal Crossing is very much the latter. I'm sure the complaints that you have, Ethan, are valid. However, to me, they just kind of add to the charm, really. And when I play that game, I
like Skyrim.
I feel at peace, honestly. And I think that's a rewarding the thing at the very least, even if
Yeah, that has so much value, to feel that way and to have something that puts you into there. That's, even though I have my complaints, like I can certainly see that, and I would never want to take that feeling away from you at all. It sounds really nice, actually. I wish Animal Crossing did that for me. It does it sometimes.
Why do you play it so much then?
I did, but I don't play it nearly as much anymore. When I got it at launch, I played it every freaking day for like months on end.
Okay. Well, why was that? Like, do you feel like it just became like a habit?
It became a habit. I had friends who were playing it a lot as well, and we constantly visited each other's islands, and we did a lot of collaborating on things, and I was doing a lot of the events, but I just kind of fell off of it for a while, and I picked it back up. And I play it every now and then, but it's no longer become an everyday thing for me.
Yeah, it's not an everyday thing for me either. It's maybe twice a week at most, and I only play for like an hour.
That's honestly the best way to go about it.
Yeah, the whole like mentality of playing Animal Crossing every day, I do think that actually would become like a waste of time at some point, where like all the emotions just kind of evaporate, and you're just kind of playing it out of habit. I think that's a mistake in the wrong. I don't say the wrong way. Everyone's experiences is valid, but it just, to me, I think Animal Crossing's real value is as something that you only play when you feel like you need it. And don't make it a habit, or at least this is my recommendation to anyone who wants to play it. Just don't make it a habit. Don't and also don't view it as something that you're not going to gain anything from either. Kind of view it as something that you can go to if you feel like you're in a dark place. And
basically slice of life.
Yeah. And it can just kind of prick you up a little bit. It's not going to be like a lifesaver or anything, but it'll at least put you on the right track to wanting to like put yourself in a better place.
Nice. Little Animal Crossing as a treat.
Yeah, it's a treat.
The complete polar opposite of Animal Crossing is my number 6. Resident Evil 2 Remake.
I want to play that.
We go from happy little critters and cute crafting and island living to stuck inside of a police station. It's dark and scary. Everything's trying to kill you. And it's spooky as shit. Now, of course, we didn't no remasters or whatever on here, because remasters, it's like the same game, but Resident Evil 2 Remake, well, if you take a look at the 1998 version versus the 2019 version, obvious differences. And there's a lot of story changes and stuff in there too, so, there's, and even map changes too. But yeah, no, oh, dude, Resident Evil 2 Remake is so good. Love it to death. Of course, it's on this list. Yeah, no, again, it's probably got my favorite version of Leon Kennedy, which is a bit of a hot take, because everyone likes Resident Evil 4 Leon the most. Ooh. And I tend to agree, but I like the voice of Resident Evil 2 Remake Leon a bit more. But yeah, no, you've got, Leon and Claire running around the police station in spooky times with spooky zombies. It scared me to death the very first time I played it. I've played it several times through by now. And what's cool is that it offers a lot of replayability, because just like the other Resident Evil games, some of them you'll be able to play the game through as one character, one time, but you can play as a different character the next time through and get a completely different narrative and even gameplay experience from that. So, also in the case of Resident Evil 2, you have an A scenario and a B scenario. So you play Leon A, then you go Claire B. Well, then you can go Claire A, Leon B, and you get a whole completely different experience from there. And playing both those both of those together your first time through is probably going to take you about maybe. I'm sorry, my cat found a toy. She's right outside my door.
You're good. You're good.
That's really annoying. Anyway, you're gonna find a lot of different stuff there, and it's really cool. And it's gonna probably take you about maybe 15 hours or so to do it. Of course, it gets shorter the more you play. But if you do the Leon A, Claire B, but then you can go back as Claire A, Leon B, you're you're double, tripling the play time out of that. Plus, there's a bunch of unlockable modes and stuff in there too. There's so much gameplay on offer for you there, and it's mechanically sound, with a lot of great atmosphere. It's spooky as shit, but it's really good, and I highly recommend it. It's also, you don't need to play the other Resident Evil games to really play this one. A lot of the Resident Evil games, well, yeah, they're kind of connected together. They're mostly the same. They're in the same continuity, but they're pretty far apart from each other. But Resident Evil 2 has really no connections to the first one, much at all. So it's a great jumping off point as well, if that's your jam. And hell yeah, brother. Resi 2, boy. Damn good game. Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
I wish listed that today on Steam, actually, because it showed up on my discovery queue.
Gotta play it, man. Shit slaps.
I do want to play it.
I played 4, loved it. Top 10 games of all time.
So good.
So yeah, I definitely would want to play it.
The Resident Evil 2 remake is just slightly better for me. Resident Evil 4 and Resi 2 remake are just neck and neck at each other. How I have them on my Resident Evil rankings. They're both just so good.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Yeah. Anyway, Ben number 6.
Number 6. This one for me is God of War 2018.
Which Ethan had a 5.
Yeah, we gotta hold off on that.
Hold off.
Yeah,
a little longer.
I was gonna say who has that? Oh yeah, Ethan, you had that at 5.
Yes.
Yeah, and I had that at
okay, cool.
8.
So we'll wait. All right, we'll wait for that at 5.
Cool.
Elias.
6, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rick Simon Rocket League game. It's got scored on, sad. This one is Nier Automata.
Oh, I need to play it. It's on Game Pass.
So good. Such a good game. I think I said my gripes about it earlier. Just the port to PC is shit, and even though I have a PS4 controller and it should work perfectly fine, it doesn't. So, besides that.
Guess I'll play it on my Xbox.
Basically, again, basic Japanese game. You fight big monsters constantly, and you have hot anime girl, so horny on main, easy peasy. 2B is great. 9S is best boy. You'll learn that very quick. 9S is the best boy. And then it's an interesting. It's one of those. It's kind of like Death Stranding, like what it was for you, where it's one of those big brain thinky games, because it brings up the concept of what does it mean to be a human? Because the robots you're playing as, because
Blade Runner time.
Oh, so it's anime Blade Runner.
Pretty much, yeah. The main characters you play as 2B and 9S, they are androids, sent, not sent, but created for the sole purpose of keeping humanity alive. And I think they're the English translation of their motto is for the glory of mankind, if I remember correctly. So everything they do is for the glory of mankind, but you get onto Earth and you realize, Earth is a wasteland. No one's alive, but there is a resistance group that's somehow fighting the last remaining robots on Earth and stuff like that, and they're trying to survive. And so you're basically just trying to help them out. But yeah, it's an interesting game for sure.
Post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, definitely would recommend. If you can find a way to get the controller work, let me know. Because I want to enjoy my game more so than I do with my keyboard. I've gotten really good at only keyboard gameplay now, though, so I feel pretty cool,
Nice. Yeah, I mean, nice. It's on Game Pass, and I'm
do it.
With you
Just
saying that, I'm
do it.
probably just play it on the Xbox then, because I think it's on PC Game Pass as well. But if there's going to be hassle with a controller, I'll probably just play it on the console.
Yeah, I go with console. But yeah, again, the frick top 5 games I've been playing so far are all in freaking Japanese. Been playing in Japanese. Interesting stuff. Two of my favorite things about the game, real quick, the animations are just, I don't know what it is. I've always been a sucker for like really good 3D animation and modeling and stuff like that. And I love seeing when it just looks so good. And 2B's animations throughout the whole game, no matter if you're walking or if you're running, jumping, dodging, whatever, it just looks so fluid, so clean, and she's sexy as fuck. And besides that, second favorite thing, whenever you go into full sprint mode, the camera, I don't know if it's just the PC thing, maybe it's not supposed to, but the camera always just tends to just automatically, it's not my hand, just automatically pulls itself down. You just get a panning shot while you're sprinting. It's great. So running has never been so much fun.
Nice. You can run around the map.
I heard somewhere that like they put like that there's more polygons in 2B's ass than there was in the entirety of Ocarina of Time or something like that.
I'd believe it. That or her tits, dude. Her tits are great. So it's like character designs are fantastic. I hope to one day cosplay as 2B because that'd be fantastic. But I don't have the ass for it. But
you have to have an ass with more polygons than Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, no kidding. But you get big sword swingy attacks, and you know, and the freaking sword just floats behind you in like this like halo like ring. Basically, it's so cool. I love it, and just like disappears. You know, you just assimilate it out of thin air and like microchips or whatever. I don't know. You know, electronic jumbo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good game.
Boy howdy, that was quite the discussion, wasn't it? Yeah, so the conversation was going on maybe a little too long, so we condensed this by throwing it into 2 separate episodes. You can listen to the second one, I believe, right away, so if you want to get the remaining half of the list, you can go ahead and check that out now. Thank you very much, guys. You all have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye.